Hi, I'm Pete.
And I'm Nat.
And this is the Hire Yourself podcast. Each day we will publish a short episode on franchising and owning a business. These small bits of information will help you be a better entrepreneur and business person. Between us, we have 75 years of experience and have owned and ran 9 businesses and counting.
Hey, I'm Sean Smith, and I'm the producer of the Hire Yourself podcast. You'll hear from me each episode because I will introduce the topic that Nat and Pete will be talking about. And the question for this episode is, what is a master franchise, and how does the price difference work between being a regular franchisee and a master franchisee?
So when we talk about the master franchise, Sean, one of the things that we know is that a master franchise is a little bit different. You're buying the rights to a large geographic area, like the entire state of Illinois. And as a master franchise, there's really kind of 3 ways in which you bring in revenue. So number one, as a master franchise, you buy the rights to that large geographic area. You get a portion of the franchise fee for every franchise that's sold, in this case, in the state of Illinois. Number 2 is that when you help place new franchisees in that state or that geographic area that you have, you get a portion of the royalty stream. So if the royalty is 8%, you may get half of that as the master. And then number 3 is you can open up your own operating units. So that's a master franchise. When we talk about an area developer, it's a little different. You're buying the rights to open up locations in, we'll call it the state of Illinois again, but you don't have any kind of additional revenue stream associated with the franchise fees or the royalty. So you're just coming through an agreement to develop a certain number of franchises in a geographic area, or simply put, an area developer.
Yeah, when you think about a master franchise, a lot of times the majority of the franchises are a 2-tiered structure. So you have the corporate office or headquarters, which is the franchisor, and then you have the unit level franchisees. So that would be what you'd find about 90% of the time. And then about 10% of the time, you find a 3-tiered system where you have the franchisor or parent company. Then you add in an extra layer, which is the master franchise or the area developer. And then underneath them would be the unit owners. And what a lot of times franchise companies are trying to accomplish with that structure is trying to get some more boots on the ground and support for their local unit owner operators. And so there's pros and cons of all that. And it's definitely something that's worth investigating and learning more about through the process.
Yeah, a master franchise and area developer tend to be larger investments because you're buying a larger geographic area to develop.
A lot of times with the master franchise, also a lot of times it's an early adopter opportunity because a lot of times franchise companies are looking to raise significant amounts of capital. And so one way they can do it is to sell an entire state or maybe 3 states to an area developer or master franchise. So it is usually a pretty large upfront fee, and it's usually pretty advantageous, but it's also a long-term strategy. I think of those investments typically a little bit more of an annuity. So for guys that need to turn a profit in the next 6 to 9 months, it's probably not going to be a good fit. But guys that are thinking long-term, more like 5 to 10 years, it can be really interesting.
When I left the corporate world, the type of franchise I invested in was a master franchise. I actually bought the rights to 3 states for a junk mall franchise. And one of the things that Nat says is, hey, it takes a long time, right? So I went out and started recruiting franchisees and putting them in business and stuff like that. And the truth is, you really, when you help place the franchisees, the referral piece, your portion of it, really kind of helps you get the money off the table for the large investment you made for the geographic area or the master rights. And then from the standpoint of the royalties, getting the franchisees open and operating is really kind of your revenue stream or your asset annuity would be another way to call it. But it just takes time to get it going.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this or any of our episodes, please subscribe to the podcast. And it would be absolutely amazing if you give us a rating and review. We hope you listen to us again tomorrow.